Good morning, members of Spine and Sport Physiotherapy. My name is Gideon and I'll be presenting the topic of sports injuries. Some may ask, what is the best way to prevent a sport injuries? I believe there's not one clear-cut way to prevent a sports injury, but more simple steps/procedures that will help you to prevent these injuries. These may include wearing appropriate protective gear such as headgear, mouth guards and padded skins. Having a good warm-up and finishing with a good cool-down will also help from preventing injuries. And lastly, having enough sleep or rest. You need sleep or rest to recover your muscles and repair them. What is the best way to treat a sports injury? Well, prevention is always the best treatment, but sometimes it might be too late. This is why the RICE method is good. It stands for rest, ice, compression, and elevation. Rest must be given to the muscles to help them recover and repair themselves. Icing the injured tissue will help slow down inflammation and will reduce swelling. Compression and elevation do the same thing as icing, but compression uses pressure to slow down the swelling and inflammation, while elevation drains the fluid away from the injured tissue, thus causing minimal inflammation and swelling. And the last step is rehab. Rehab takes place after the swelling and inflammation have gone, and the pain is minimal. Rehab uses different types of exercises to help strengthen the injured tissue again and get it back to its old self. Thank you for listening.